By day, the Huntrix are one of Korea's biggest bands, idols adored by millions, masters of the stage. But when darkness falls, their harmonies turn into battle cries, and their true mission begins, protecting humanity from demons of every shape and size. They fight with style and grace, slaying demons between rehearsals, saving lives before curtain call, and still making it back in time for their fans. Yet behind the fame and flawless performances lies their greatest struggle, the eternal dilemma that no melody can silence. So, let's take a look. Also, feel free to like, share, and hit the bell. Also comment below if you want me to look over any heroes. Long ago, when shadows reign unchallenged and demons roam freely across the earth, despair clung to every corner of the world. Towns crumbled, hearts faltered, and hope itself seemed but a fading memory. Yet from the silence rose three warriors, not with their blades, but with their voices of fire, with song lyrics of courage and their harmonies steeped in hope. With each note, they did more than drive back the darkness. They awakened the hearts of people. Their music became a beacon, uniting scattered souls into one chorus of defiance. This led to the creation of the Hunmoon, a radiant shield of sound and spirit strong enough to guard the world from the demons. Since then, the mantle has passed on. Three new singers are chosen in every generation, entrusted with the duty of keeping the demons at bay until the day of the golden Hunmoon. And on that day shall rise a shield eternal, a promise unbroken. The tale of these guardians is not merely literal, it is a parable of music itself. How melody can touch the soul, how rhythm can bind strangers into kin, how song can both inspire and protect. For music is not only heard, it is seen in the fire of the eyes, felt in the trembling of the heart, and carried in the courage of those who dare to stand against the dark. As their voices spread beyond villages and towns, the singers grew into something greater than warriors. They became idols, figures of reverence, their art elevated to near divine mastery. But with such glory came the weight of expectation. No longer were they simply protectors, they became mirrors in which people sought perfection, forced to hide their fears and veil their wounds behind flawless smiles. Their brilliance dazzled, yet behind the smoke and mirrors, there were unseen fractures that began to form. Their very gift that once freed the people now threatened to bind them. And so music, once a weapon of liberation, became a crown of thorns, both a blessing and a burden. And this is where the three main girls come in. From the very beginning, they weren't just a manufactured idol group, they were friends who quickly became like sisters. Huntrix had a natural bond. Their dynamic feels less like co-workers and more like family, and that closeness is what allowed them to bounce off each other with such ease. But behind the laughter and playful energy, there's a deeper truth. This lifestyle is exhausting. Mira, Zoe, and Rumi, though Rumi tries to hide it, show signs of how draining the idol life can be. Their goofy antics are a coping mechanism, a way to mask the pressure. When we see them collapse onto a couch, treating something as ordinary as rest like a rare luxury, it highlights just how little time they have to simply exist outside of performance. This isn't just fiction, it mirrors the reality of the K-pop industry. Many idols often endure grueling schedules, strict diets, and constant public scrutiny. Rest, privacy, and personal freedom are luxuries. Many idols have spoken openly about how the pressure to maintain a perfect image can take a toll on their mental health. Huntrix reflects that reality, showing how even demon hunters, with all their supernatural power, can't escape the human need for rest and comfort. Their manager, Bobby, plays a crucial role in this balance. Unlike Celeste, who raised Rumi with the exception of becoming queen and pushed the group towards discipline and perfection, Bobby provides something rare in this world: emotional support. He doesn't just manage their schedules, he makes sure they're mentally and physically ready, giving them space to breathe. In an industry that often forces idols to grow up fast, Bobby allows them to stay grounded. to feel safe enough to be both Huntrix and themselves. Without the unconditional support, it's hard to imagine the group developing the trust and resilience they need to succeed, not just as performers, but as demon hunters too. What makes their bond so compelling is how unpolished it is. They're silly, childish, and unafraid to tease each other. Their banter isn't just comic relief, it's proof of their trust. By sharing embarrassing moments and vulnerabilities, they create a space where nothing has to be hidden. That honesty makes their work and their friendship feel real. Now onto the Huntrix themselves, starting with Zoe. When we first meet Zoe, she stands out as the youngest member of Huntrix, the group's lyricist and songwriter. At first glance, she radiates childlike, goofy energy. She's playful, naive, and often the comic relief. But beneath that bubbly exterior lies a far more complex character, one shaped by questions of identity, belonging, and hidden intention. Zoe's public persona is defined by her lightheartedness. She laughs easy, acts silly without shame, and often seems the most childish of the group. This is highlighted in moments like her unquestioning belief in a doctor's promise to cure Rumi's voice, a detail that underscores her innocence and tendency to trust too quickly. But this isn't just immaturity, it's also a coping mechanism, a way of holding on to optimism in a world that often feels unstable to her. From what we know about her backstory, Zoe grew up in Burbank, California, and in the Golden Song, she refers to herself as living two lives, which offers a window into her inner life. The lyrics suggest that she struggled with her identity during childhood, feeling like she didn't quite belong, perhaps never feeling good enough to fit in with her peers. Some theories even suggest she may be a child of divorced parents. If true, this would add another layer to her fractured sense of belonging. Two households, two worlds, and no clear place to call home. For many, music becomes a refuge in such circumstances, and Zoe seems to have poured her confusion and longing into songwriting. The film emphasizes repeatedly that Zoe is trying to prove herself. This isn't just about her talent, it's about her worthiness to belong. As someone who didn't grow up in South Korea, she may feel like an outsider in one of the country's biggest bands. Her constant efforts to unify the group reflect both her gratitude for being included and her anxiety about being left behind. Zoe's youthful idealism also makes her the first to see nuance in the world around her. She's open to the idea that demons might have another side, that even outcasts deserve compassion. This perspective sets her apart from her bandmates, who are slower to recognize such complexity. This fragile balance shatters when Rumi's secret is revealed, and the Huntrix disband. For Zoe, the fall is devastating. Her deepest fear of not being good enough, of being abandoned, becomes reality. The girl who spent her life trying to prove her worth is once again left questioning whether she truly belongs anywhere. Now, let's move on to Mira's character. Her characterization is revealed primarily through actions, visuals, and presence. She is calm yet wild, disciplined yet rebellious, blunt yet deeply protective. To understand Mira is to see how her upbringing, personality, and role within Huntrix all collide to form one of the group's most layered members. Mira's voice is low, professional, and steady, the kind of tone that conveys authority and composure. It gives her the aura of someone calm, cool, and in control. Yet this is only one side to her. At times, she is the most flamboyant, rebellious, and even reckless member of the group, unafraid to show off or pick a fight. This duality, restraint versus rebellion, defines much of her character arc. Mira grew up in a wealthy, possibly elitist household where appearances and reputation matter above all else. Her family's emphasis on status left her feeling trapped. Her song, in which she recalls being labeled a loose cannon and a problem child, reveals how her defiance clashed with her family's rigid expectations. Ironically, the very traits that once made her a disappointment are now celebrated. She's getting paid for it. Her rebellious streak is further illustrated by stunts like wearing a sleeping bag to the gala, a deliberate rejection of her family's obsession with appearances. This defiance isn't just teenage rebellion, it's a declaration of independence, a refusal to be defined by her family's values. Mira's role as Huntrix choreographer is telling. Dance requires creativity, expression, and risk-taking, the opposite of the rigid, image-obsessed world she grew up in. By shaping the group's performances, she asserts her individuality and channels her rebellious energy into artistry. Huntrix then is more than a career for Mira, it is a liberation. It is the first place where her wildness isn't punished, but celebrated, where she can fully be herself and still be loved. Despite her rebellion, however, Mira's upbringing instilled her a strong sense of duty. She takes her role as Huntrix seriously. For Zoe, Huntrix was about proving herself. For Rumi, it's a lifestyle she was born into. But for Mira, it is a calling she embraces with confidence. This confidence sometimes borders on arrogance. She prides herself on being able to read people, and while she often can, it also reveals her tendency to think highly of her own judgment. Her blunt honesty, calling out flaws, voicing criticisms, can create friction, especially with Rumi. Their clash on the train, where Mira questions Rumi's loyalty, highlights both her commitment to the mission and her unwillingness to compromise her convictions. At the heart of Mira's bluntness is love. She is hard on Zoe and Rumi, not out of cruelty, but because she wants them to grow stronger. Her conflicts with Rumi stem from care, a desperate desire for Rumi to open up and trust her. Mira's deepest vulnerability is revealed when Rumi's secret is out. Guima's taunt that she will never find a family cuts to her core. For Mira, Huntrix was more than a band, it was proof that she could belong, that she could be loved for who she truly is. When that family fractures, she is left devastated, claiming she could never have a family at all. Finally, there's Rumi, the leader of Huntrix. She is the most serious and disciplined member of the group. Unlike Zoe's youthful idealism and Mira's rebellious confidence, Rumi's life is almost entirely consumed by responsibility. She rarely relaxes, rarely indulges in fun, and instead carries the weight of leadership on her shoulders. But beneath her strict exterior lies a deeply conflicted character, one torn between duty, identity, and the longing for acceptance. As leader, Rumi is not just a manager who enforces discipline, she also understands the importance of connection. In moments when the group resists work, like when they want to take a break, even though Rumi announced the promo single that night, she doesn't scold them. Instead, she is seen smiling as she is handing the group their costumes. This balance of strictness tempered with empathy makes her a trusted figure. She knows that leadership is not just about fear, it's about trust. Yet even as she guides the group, she hides a vulnerability, the secret of her half-demon heritage. She longs to share the truth with her friends, but her guardian Celeste forbids it. The secrecy becomes the central tension of her character. Her backstory goes into this relentless seriousness more in detail. Her mother, a former K-pop singer, died giving birth to her. From that moment, Rumi's life was defined by loss and expectation. Raised by her aunt Celeste, she was told that part of her demon side, was a mistake. Unlike Zoe, who stumbled into Huntrix, or Mira, who found liberation in it, Rumi was born into the role. From childhood, she was groomed to lead, to embody the Huntrix lifestyle, and to suppress the part of herself that didn't fit the image. This duality, being both the perfect idol and the perfect mistake she was told she was, drives her to push herself harder than anyone else. Rumi's lyrics often speak of not hiding, yet she herself hides constantly. To her fans, she is flawless, the perfect singer, the golden leader, but she knows what they see is not who she truly is. This disconnect fuels her obsession with the golden honeymoon, the ultimate performance where fans will finally see the version of her they expect. Even when she begins to lose her voice, she insists the show must go on. Her perfectionism is not just ambition, it's survival. If she falters, the mask slips, and the truth risks exposure. This connection with Genu forces her to question her art. She begins to doubt the takedown song they wrote, calling it too negative. To her, attacking demons now is like attacking herself. This sparks conflict with Huntrix, as her bandmates don't understand her hesitation. The tension reaches its peak during the performance when the demons disguised as her friends sing the takedown song back at her. In that moment, her secret is revealed, her walls collapse, and the betrayal cuts both ways. After the reveal, Rumi confronts the fallout. Her friends are less angry about her being half demon than about her lying to them. This highlights the true tragedy. It wasn't her identity that broke the group, but her inability to trust them with it. Her confrontation with Celeste crystallized this theme when she asks, "Why couldn't you love all of me?" Rumi has always wanted acceptance, because she was raised to believe she can only be loved if she hid part of herself. By the end, Rumi rejects the lies that shaped her. She decides the golden honeymoon must be destroyed. The illusion of perfection can no longer stand. Instead, she embraces her whole self. In her confrontation with Guima, she stands with full confidence, no longer hiding. She sings not as the perfect idol her fans expect, but as her true self. This act reconnects her with Zoe and Mira, and they sing together to defeat the demons. The final scene shows Rumi at peace, joining her friends at the bathhouse, a symbol of cleanness and renewal. For the first time, she lowers her walls completely. She has achieved balance, leader, idol, demon, human, all in harmony. And that was Huntrix. They are more than just a band. It is a metaphor for a chosen family, for the messy but beautiful process of being seen, and for the courage it takes to stand before the world, not as the person they expect, but as the person you truly are. Thanks for watching.